All right, in module number 6, we are going to go in and assign our task to our head developer in Clicp-Up. Let's get started. Okay, so we have all of our assets, our Facebook page, our content, our template page, our Google Drive, the client's website page, as well as the blog. What we're going to want to do is use our wonderful Chat Gpt here. And this is my favorite thing to do with Chat Gpt. And that is to use it to assign tasks. So we're going to come here and we're going to tell it to create me a task. Now, if you're going to be a manager in this company, you will have to learn to use ChatGPT to assign tasks. And I would only ever assign tasks with ChatGPT because it makes very clean cut, precise tasks that are very easily understood. So watch how I do this. I'm going to write it out here for you and then I'll read it to you. You don't have to watch me do it. I'll make it go a little bit faster in your training. But please note that what's important about this is that I'm giving ChatGPT all of the information it needs and I'm telling it where to put the stuff, how to put it in the task. And then ChatGPT does the rest for me. So here goes. Okay, so here you can see I have created a task, and you can see I could probably just make this as a task in Clicp-Up just like this, but it would not be very easy to read or understand or beautiful. And so I always use ChatGPT to create my tasks because they are really easy for the rest of the team to follow. And so as project manager, this is probably one of the most important steps in putting everything together before you assign the task to the web developer. But let's go over it, because to get ChatGPT to assign a task that is easy to understand and is well built, you need to give it all the information. So you remember in the first section where we went over and we gathered all of our assets. We had our blog post, we had our client's website, we had gathered up all of our documents for Jet Pro Finish with their logos and their badges. We had our template website. We had our content that we'd created with ChatGPT, and we had their Facebook page. We'd gathered all that stuff together. Now was our time to tell ChatGPT to put it all together. So I tell it to create the task to assign to the web developer. And then I tell them to take the new client website. I give it the client website and rebrand it and using our non-conformist power branding methodology. Our teammates already know what this is. What's important is that it's mentioned in the task. And then I give it information about where they're going to find it. It's going to be found in WordPress, and we're going to use Divi. And I already say that all that's going to be set up before they get in there. Then I give them the link to the video description, and I tell them that it needs to have, or I tell ChatGPT that it needs to have a video description. And actually, I don't have a link in there. I'll have to put that link in from YouTube here in a minute. And I give it all the information. So if you read this very carefully, you can see how I pulled all the links out from our gathered information and I put it in the information for it to assign. So let's see what it does. Rebranding of the Jet Pro Finish website. It gives it some information. Here it gives you the link to the video, the Google Drive folder. It says setup. It gives you information. So do you see how this is more easy to understand and better built out? Now, I still don't like it well enough. I'm going to say, make sure you mention to use all best SEO practices as well as web development practices, because that was really not quite as built out as I would want. So sometimes you might have to massage your task a little bit. But I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back when I get this task perfect, and I'll show you what it looks like. Okay, here is your task. This is probably going to be just perfect. We won't probably need anything additional, but if your team does need it, they've been trying to reach out. So at this point, you'll take it. It's pretty simple. You'll go into Clicp-Up. You'll have to find your particular client's folder. If there's not a folder, you may have to reach out and have one built, or you can go in and I'll show you how to build it yourself. If you don't have permissions to build it, then you'll have to reach out to someone higher up. But this is how you would do it yourself in Clicp-Up if you have permissions to do so. So coming in here, you would come to Active Client Projects and see if you find your client in there. And as you can see, we don't have a client in there for Jet Pro Finish. So you hit the plus button and you want to create a list. So you go to folder. You're going to call it Jet Pro Finish. And we're going to create web development, create our folder. You will see it come in here now. From there, we can create our list. But instead of creating a list, we're going to come over here to ProTech Restoration, and they have a web development list. We're going to duplicate it, and we're going to put it in only the tasks. We're going to put it in Jet Pro Finish. We're going to copy our list. And then we're going to come over to Jet Pro Finish. Come over to Web Development. The one that says copy, because this one will have our list that is correct. Okay, and we'll go to our board. We may have to delete some of these because we don't need all of them. I'm going to delete and I'll be back. Okay. We're over here. I actually deleted the other board, and we're over here in this other web development board, and it just has to do a to-do and a complete board. So we're going to add a task here. We will copy our task name. And we'll just save it. And then we will copy. We'll have to click on it. I know this is a little bit of a slow process, but it's necessary. Okay, then we're going to copy our task. and put that in the description. Everything should be in there, and that should be my contact. Or your contact if you're the one assigning it and you're not me. All right, your task is ready. Now you're going to give it a due date. We're going to give this a due date for the 28th. It's a month out from now. Actually, let's make it the 21st because I'm quite positive we can do it in 3 weeks. That's 2 weeks. But if we need to do it out, take longer, we can. We're going to assign this to Nishan Ahmed. And you'll see that you have a problem assigning it to everybody. Simple as what you need to do is you need to add people to your JetPro Finish sharing ability. So go over to web development. Click on your 3 dots. Come down here. It says sharing and permissions. And then you can invite the people who should be able to be a part of it. They should be. Joro is our head developer right now. We will let you know who it is that you should have on this list, depending on who is in our team at the time. But this is how you would add them, whoever it is that need to be added. Okay. Now that they have been given permissions, you can go over here and tag them. And set your priority. This is just a high priority task. This is not an urgent priority task. But some tasks will be urgent, some will be low. But for now, we're going to just call that what it is. All right, your task is assigned. You have one more thing to do before, which is to share this task in Pumble. And remind the web development team that they have a task there to work on in web development. So you come find the appropriate channel, which is web development, and just tell the team, assigned a new web development task in Clicp-Up. Please review and let me know if you have any questions. And you make sure you post it as well as tag Nishan and Joro because he is the head web developer. All right, that's the end of this. Great job. You've assigned your first task. And what's one last thing to do before we are done with this whole practice.